They say he lives behind a mask. They say he's the most powerful man in show business. They say he's the funniest man in the world. Unfortunately, none of the people that say these things would be available for this interview, so we're going to have to talk to the man instead. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jim Carrey. That was fantastic. Uh-oh. This is going to be hard.
I have to get off. I'm getting off the train now.
So you're going to morph into me during the interview.
Exactly.
This is
what's never happened, and that's what we're after.
That you're going to end up as me during the interview?
I'm going to just jump right into your soul, yeah.
Look, I should say, I alone of my people from Australia have been sent to meet with you.
Really?
And
you are the representative.
I am.
I'm so glad. Do you have breadfruit for me?
I have gifts for you. I do have gifts. The question they want me to ask.
I'm so glad to be speaking straight to Australia at this point.
Honestly. You are welcome.
I really, honestly, I've been dying to get down there. I've always been fascinated with it, but I've never, during all these trips, we've never seemed to be able to get it together to get down there.
Why is that?
I hear they're amazing. Well, everybody I've met from there is so cool.
Yeah.
They're just a very cool hang, like kind of Canadian. It's like that kind of same feel where I grew up, and just real people. And also, when I was a kid, I was fascinated that the animals were just different there. There's the platypus and the kangaroo and the dingo and the koala bear and Kylie Minogue.
Yes. You know half the country's poisonous, don't you?
Really?
Yeah. No, we've got a lot of poisonous things.
The snakes and things?
All the world's most poisonous snakes, we got them. Spiders.
Really? I want to wrestle an alligator, a crocodile.
Like Steve Irwin.
I really do. I want to do that, yeah.
Could you take it?
No problem. I swear to God. I want to put like some kind of hat on with a big thing with a stake on the end of it that hangs in front of the crocodile.
Yeah.
Whatever. That'd be fun.
You have a reputation for being a real perfectionist with your comedy, that you'll do take after take after take.
And yet I can let this interview go to the dogs. It's amazing.
Go figure.
I just like to do it. I got nowhere to go.
But how do
so I literally, that's kind of like the place I'd rather be more than anywhere in the world. So I kind of, I like to hang out. I like to do it over and over again in case there's some, incredibly interesting thing that happens.
How do you know when something has reached its funniest point? Because there's a point at which you go, that's it, that's
when
right.
They tell me that I have to go home. No, sometimes you think, you got it right away. And at other times you just keep poking at it, and you realize later on after 50 takes that you had it on the first take, you know?
Okay.
So it's whatever. It's, I'm sure everybody knows about that sort of thing since, Entertainment Tonight. And
your physicality, your ability to do stuff with your body and face, how much control do you have over your face?
It's all spasm, actually.
Really?
All of it, yeah. It's total spasms, just every once in a while, and then they tie them together in post. No. When I was a little kid, I would stare into the mirror for hours at a time, and my mother was so worried about it. She was like, you're gonna see the devil. She tried to scare me into, and of course that totally, it's like every kid with a scary movie or something. I was like in there 24 hours a day after that, going, where is he? Where is Satan?
What's the most you can do with your face? Is it true you can sort of dislocate your bottom jaw?
I can if I have to, ingest a small barn animal. But it really knocks me out. I mean, I have to sit in the, in the shade for a few hours.
Because I did bring a hamster for you to have a go at.
I'm very, very vulnerable at that moment.
Is that right? I'm sure.
We're in the middle of digesting.
Yes, it was wrong of me to even think
really...
of it. You would actually go on stage sometimes deliberately to piss the audience off. There's sort of a fine line between comedy and rage?
Well, no, I think comedy is everything. Comedy, see, a lot of people say that, it's because of pain and all that stuff. I guess we all try to overcome our pain in certain ways. But to me, it's like, I think of comedy as a chance to just, I don't know, be a goof in front of an audience. It's just like the living room, it's the more comfortable you get, the more you can just kind of sit back and make the world your living room and everybody has a good time. So to me, it's a joyful thing. It's a way of taking something painful, I guess, and making it a joyful thing.
So why would
a way of judging people, and and that's the important part, getting back at people. No.
Why would you piss the audience off?
You're back on that.
I know.
No, honestly, no. That's an interesting.
Interesting.
It depends. I was very susceptible to anything any outward input. So I'd go to a movie that would change my personality. I'd go to, you know, I'd see Marlon Brando interviewed by Connie Chung, and I'd go in with the wrong attitude. And, you know, I was just very impressionable. I was kind of searching for an identity anyway. So I'd get there and I would just decide, you know, a minute in that I was going to, instead of entertain the audience, I was going to torture them. And I would, sometimes there were producers in to see me, and I'd end up on a table with a broken beer bottle going like, "Come on!" or whatever, and doing a scene from Here to Eternity. And it was mental. It was mental. I went up 6 months every night at the Comedy Store without a plan of what I was going to do. And just kind of survived in front of the audience, and it was just insane.
Wow.
It was insane.
Andy Kaufman, who you played in Man in the Moon, he was the ultimate in alienating the audience.
Yeah.
Did you find that sense?
I didn't mean to do that, though. See, the difference was I would do that, right, and I'd become the hero of all the comedians. You know, they'd line up at the back of the place and watch people walk out and go, "Yeah, I hated that guy," and stuff. And then when everybody was gone, they'd come up and like lift me on their shoulders, kind of figuratively, and say, "Man, you're the best. That was incredible. Nobody's ever done that before." And you're the king for a minute, and then you get in your car and drive home and cry, because ultimately you don't want to do that to people. You know what I mean?
Is it liberating, though, that sense of just going out there, and you're basically saying to the audience as well as to yourself, "Hey, I don't know what I'm doing now, but I'm going to have fun."
Yeah. Yeah.
Must be fantastic.
I don't know. I find as I go along, like people just kind of want to see you kind of be loose in who you are and, you know, comfortable. It's the living room concept. We're going to turn this into our living room, you know, and have a blast.
Is it true that your parents would ask you that if they were feeling down, they'd say, "Jim, cheer us up, make us laugh"?
No, they never asked me directly, but I just always felt like that was my job. You know, I think most comedians, funny people have sick moms generally. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, it's born out of wanting to make somebody feel better, you know? I think that happens a lot. I used to come into the room, you know, naked except for my underwear, and be a praying mantis, you know, and just go all over the room, just curiously touching and feeling things and stuff. And my mother would just roll. She was ill, and she would just roll out of bed and be trying to chase me out of the room, stuff like that.
The joy of that, though, it's more than your job, isn't it? It's actually fun for you.
Oh, it's a blast. Yeah. It's wonderful, man. It's the best job in the world. It's really, truly the best job in the world to make people feel good. And
your dad would write with you when you were young, would write comedy with you. What kind of a sense of humor did he have?
He was really funny, really funny guy. My family, as long as you were being safe, the comedy borderline was pushed. Like, for some reason with my family. Like, our idea of a good time was when people were coming over for Christmas to my sister's house in the country. We'd see them coming down the road, and we'd all put stockings on our heads and get pickaxes and things like that, and hide in the in the gutters and stuff like that, and wait for them to drive up, and then come out the car. You know, that was our idea of a good time.
How far would you push that?
Till someone died, generally, and had to be buried. No, no, it was, you know, never harmful, but just always fun. And my father was the ringleader, you know. So when I saw him, he was always getting the laughs in the living room. So when I saw him doing that, I was an amoeba, and I could see that was a cool thing. You know, I was like, wow, that's kind of neat, being the funny guy.
So when you started, and your star rose very quickly despite those early setbacks, when you started becoming very successful for your comedy, was that something easy for your father to handle? Because that could have been him too, couldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. He lived vicariously through me, for sure. Yeah, he was very supportive. But there was never any weirdness or anything in that regard. It was just him, you know, it was one of the saddest things I ever had to do was he used to come down to the comedy clubs all the time from the time I was 17. So at a certain point, I like turned 20 or something like that, and I had to have the talk with my dad and say, like, I just kind of want to hang with the guy. And he was like, oh yeah, sure, oh gosh, yeah, right, sure. Yeah. Because my dad had one-liners, man. He was just he was fast.
Wow.
He was really fast.
So all your life when you were with him, it was just...
Yeah, it was like a tag team of comedy. Yeah.
Did he have the physical thing as well?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was completely animated. It wasn't, you know, a couple of years before he died, I was watching him one time, and I just said to my sisters and brother, God, just look at him. Just watch him when he's telling a story. And he is just literally like, You know, like this, he's all over the place, and he's just a cartoon. But it's all joy just coming out. It's amazing.
Did the rest of your family get the humor gene, or was it you and your dad?
No, everybody has a really good sense of humor in my family. You know, they're not comedians, but they, you know, you definitely, it's a good audience to gauge things by.
Because some of the funniest people are not professional
I steal
comedians.
from them constantly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do they know?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, they're always looking for things that are familiar to them, you know, in the movies. Like, I always do a dadism. There's always something in there.
What's a dadism?
Well, just something that imitates my father or says something that he would say. If, you know, if I had a kid in a movie, I might call him Jasper or something that he calls me or whatever. Certain things I'm always lacing through there to, like, kind of nod to the family.
He'd call you Jasper?
Jasper, Nicodemus.
Why that?
He had 100 names for me. He was trying to confuse me, I think.
You never knew who
Keep
you
me on
were.
my toes.
Yeah. Was there a dad?
Don't get attached to a name. You may have to move. Move quickly.
Was there
I think he was in the CIA, actually.
Well, you guys did move around, and I know you've talked about this so many times, so I won't
Don't
go
get
through
attached
that.
to anybody.
You guys ended up living out of a van. Now, because there were very hard times for you. I think you call it your grapes of wrath period.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Did what sort of values did your family instill in you in that time, instill in you?
I guess, I don't know, just that, you know, there's nothing really safe, so you might as well do what you love to do. You know, I mean, it became painfully obvious that there's no real safety net anywhere. So for me, you know, I mean, we went to live in the van because we didn't like the job we were doing and what was happening to the family. So when we got to the van, we were actually happy. You know, that sounds like the sad part, but that was like actually the happy part. You know, so
was it like the?
we just learned that you have to do what you love, even if you starve at it. You know.
What was it? I mean, traveling around in a van, what was that time like?
It was okay. It was good. It was like the family was together and we weren't hating anybody and we weren't like, you know, feeling, you know, I wasn't punching holes in walls and stuff at the factory and whatever else went on. And we were saved. We didn't know where we were going, but, you know, and I was doing the comedy at night and stuff, so I was just heading off in my Volkswagen down to downtown Toronto.
Because I was
stand-up.
Was the comedy what kept audience hold together? Because how did you survive in those?
By the time I was 17, I was actually working professionally, as well as doing whatever else we needed to do. But I was working in the comedy clubs and pretty popular, and so I was supporting some of my family and you know, just that's what you do there. You know what I mean? You just take care of people. You take care of your family. You take care of, you know, what you got to do.
You said that you were very impressionable. That you know, you'd see something and 5 minutes later you'd be that person. Do you still just suck it in that zealot way?
Yeah, it all goes in the computer. You know, it's weird. It's like I have to stop. I can't read too much because if I read too much, I don't sleep. I read, but you know, literally every paragraph becomes some kind of big bit in my head or something like that.
Wow. So the obvious question here is, and I have to put on a serious tone now, is, so where are you in the middle of this?
I'm everywhere, man. I'm all around you, man.
Seriously, though, I mean, if you are always taking on other people and other things, where are you?
I'm an incredibly stable human being. I'm just really smart. No, I'm a normal guy. I'm a normal person, you know? I love creativity. It's like weaving blankets. It's like whatever. It's just what makes me happy when I sit down and do it.
A normal guy with an abnormal talent.
I'm so not the guy who has to be on, by the way. I don't have to be like, you know, out of my mind. I don't have to win the room. I like to sometimes, but I don't have to.
Well, you already have, in a way, really, in your career. You don't have to win it because you've already won it.
Yes, but I feel I'm on the edge of, I'm about to humiliate myself big time.
Is that right?
No. I once went to Alaska with this couple of guys, and we were flying around up there, landing on glaciers and things. One of the guys up there said to me, the bush pilot said to me, I said, you risk your life every day coming up here to save mountain climbers and doing all this stuff. And he said, yeah, but you risk public humiliation.
What is it like, though, at your level? Does it feel like that because every time you go out there, you are being so judged?
No. No, I love my life, man. I don't think about that stuff. I love my work, and It's a very weird thing, but I'm like even getting to the point where I can put myself in a place where I can actually enjoy the idea of coming and doing press and interviews and things like that too.
Wow.
Because it's just a different headspace. It's like that's a looser forum or something.
Is that a function also of turning 40? Because you do start to reassess around that age.
Who turned 40?
Other people, but if you've read of them.
I'm 35, man.
Is any part of you 40 at all?
No, liar. We just get into a thing. I don't know. I'm having a time of my life, so
yeah, okay.
I feel, you know, like I'm 20, so I don't think about it. I'm just having a great time.
With Man in the Moon, you were famous for getting into the character by being the character on the set.
Yeah.
Now, for Bruce Almighty, what do you do to get into the character of being God?
Well, I'm not God, fortunately, because I wouldn't know how the hell to go about that. I used to do a bit in my act where I said if I was Jesus, the Bible would be a completely different book, you know, and you know, reenact it with, you know, sitting on the cross, you know, saying, "Wait till my Father hears about this," you know, and stuff like that, spitting on people. So. I don't know. I don't think I'd make a very good God. Morgan Freeman, on the other hand, is just excellent at it. He's amazing at it.
Mind you...
But he can't talk to anybody about it. He's embarrassed about it, so...
Being God?
He's not doing any press because he can't handle it. He can't handle being asked about being God.
Yeah, I guess it's a hard one on your CV. Where do you go after God?
No, I am the flawed human being with the God power. You know?
Yeah.
And that's... I'm comfortable with that. And he saw that it was good. Whoa.
Have you ever had an inkling of what it would be to be God? And I'm not asking that facetiously. I'm thinking back to that time where your career absolutely took off, that year, 94, and you had all those hit movies, and you could pretty much have or do whatever you wanted.
No, I would never want that responsibility.
Yeah?
No. A lot of what is in the movie is what I kind of believe, you know, so it's an extraordinary task. But I don't know how it all works out, but there is some kind of power in that regard. I mean, there really is. I mean, my life is just insane with it. It's just psychically, you know, I don't know. It's just lined up somehow. It's weird.
In what way?
Well, I'll ask myself a question inside or something like that, and the person sitting behind me or at the table next to me in the restaurant will answer it in their conversation or whatever like that. I pay attention to these things all the time. It's hilarious.
You've said many times in the record that you really want to find love and that you'd give it all away for love. Would you really give it all away if you found that?
I'd give it all away for less than that.
Yeah?
I might just do it to start over, just to say I did. I don't know. No, I'm in such a good place with that stuff. I'm just having a good time. I'm dating, you know? Yeah. And I'm not in a place where I need anything to happen, so.
What's the thing about...
If it does, it'd be grand, it'd be fantastical. But I'm pretty cool.
What's the bit about love that you love? Is it, you know, that first passionate bit, the courting, the romance, the wild bit, or is it the familiarity, you know, you just sit around eating baked beans in front of the telly on Sunday night? I
like to hear them fart and then break up. I hear them fart and break up.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's beautiful.
That's what I like to get to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just... No, I think women are fantastic. I mean, there's really no other reason to be on the planet, is there?
No, actually. What's your favorite bit?
My favorite bit?
Of a woman.
Oh, my favorite bit of a woman. The part right at the top of the neck that houses the medulla oblongata. And if you bite it just in the right way, you can actually cut a woman's motor functions completely.
At what
It's
point?
the weirdest thing because I've been thinking lately. I was thinking about, you know, when we were talking about like doing this interview, I thought, God, I haven't been to Australia, and I've just have all these wild fantasies about the outback and stuff like that. You know, there was like, what are some of the animals that lurk there? It's like crocodiles.
We've got crocodiles. We've got lots of snakes, red-bellied black.
Yeah,
like
black. Yeah, weird snakes and stuff like that. And I sometimes fantasize, and I dream about it, that I'm watching a lion. And I know there's no lions there, but it's a lion taking down like a kangaroo or something, taking a kangaroo down and holding its neck with its teeth and pinning its head to the ground while it does whatever it wants with it and that. And then suddenly I'm the lion and the kangaroo is Kyle Minogue.
Keep going. This is like some kind of one of those sex calls that you do. I'm just going to shut my eyes and listen now. That's fantastic.
I might be Natalie Imbruglia.
It's still fantastic. Okay. Don't stop. That's beautiful. If I were a woman, and don't think too hard on that, what kind of husband?
See, now if I had the power of God, you would be. And you'd be a fine-looking woman.
And this interview will go in a very different direction. I don't even want to think about it. What kind of husband would Jim Carrey make?
What kind of husband?
What kind of husband?
All right. Well, you're just trying to cover all the demographics out here, aren't you? All right. Okay.
Wait till I get to death.
Okay, this is for the downtown crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, I would be the kind of husband that you can't get enough of, right? Because he's the kind of guy that, like, when you meet him, you just connect, and you feel like you've known him for 50 years after 5 minutes. He smells great. Smells amazing. It's like a meal every time you get near his neck. Because...
There's the neck again.
Okay. No. And he likes to watch crappy TV.
Yeah.
And so do you. And eat grilled cheese sandwiches.
That's Mr.
That's the kind of husband I'd be.
Mr. Carrey at home.
Grilled cheese sandwiches. Yeah.
Just a regular guy.
Lots of laughs and grilled cheese sandwiches.
Is the problem for you now, you say you're dating, is the difficulty for you that the dating pool is essentially limited to, because of the status, your status, to very famous, mega wealthy, sort of needy, overachieving types?
And a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle when she's trying to throw her arms around the world. Yeah, busy women are tough, man. They're amazing. They're very talented and attractive, but it's not, you know, they're never there. So that's a tough thing.
But it would be very hard for you to have a relationship with someone who didn't have a career like that, because your career would surely swallow them up.
Are you trying to depress me?
No, I'm sorry, of course not.
No, so basically, Jim, what's it like having no options whatsoever?
Well, I'm trying to walk in your shoes.
So, Jim, on this side, fire. This side, rain. Where do you fit in? Well, let me tell you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I love it.
I see it as the dilemma of the situation. A conundrum's one of the words.
Yeah, there's a bit of a conundrum there, but, you know, I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing anything in my life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm needless in the universe. All I need is the love of every Australian.
You're getting it right now. I'm channeling it to you.
Okay.
So when you're in your home, which is like...
I really do want to wrestle an alligator, by the way, and I know that's probably one of those things like being Canadian. It's like, hey, igloos, or whatever, when you go abroad or whatever, that people are like, crocodiles, you know, like that. Yeah, there's one on my back right now. Yeah, I'm smuggling them.
Okay.
But I do want to wrestle one. Can you set that up for me?
I can. I know Steve Irwin.
Really?
I do know Steve Irwin.
Do you?
Yeah.
He's a brave man.
He is. He's a
very
fool.
silly man.
He is a
very silly man. I love it though. But it's only fun when he gets bit. So he's like, you know, he has to do it more and more and more.
I know.
He won't be recognizable after a while. He'll just be like a pincushion, his whole face, just swollen up.
The real
Blackadder!
You should come and wrestle a sea wasp.
Blackadder's my best friend.
You should wrestle a sea wasp.
A sea wasp?
A sea wasp is a giant jellyfish.
Yeah, right.
And the sting will kill you within a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
So I have a minute to kill it before it kills me?
No, you...
Or I have a minute after the sting?
Yeah. So you've got to kill it pretty much the instant you see it.
Kill it or like spread it on, you know, toast with some Vegemite.
Yeah. You have done your research.
Yeah, you see?
Have you ever tried Vegemite?
I did actually taste a little bit of Vegemite, yeah.
And?
And I'm going, did someone lose something from their sphincter? I might have it here. I'll save it for you. No, I didn't enjoy that at all.
Really?
No, I didn't. It was like a cruel kind of one of those tricks you play on a kid.
Yeah.
Here's something lemon. My face went, but I'm sure it's a wonderful thing if you get used to it, you know. If you're, you know, breastfed by women who are just cramming it in.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, then you'd eventually get used to it.
Well, we have a lot of bitter people in Australia, unfortunately. That's a very good description of it, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Is it true that at your dad's funeral, people asked for your autograph?
Sure, yeah.
And how did you respond?
You know, I gave out a few autographs, and then I was like, okay, this is not right. You know, can't do this here.
What part of your life is normal?
I don't know. I mean, it's normal for me. It's been my path, so I'm on it. So it's normal for me. I think about that with my daughter sometimes, like how normal does she think it is? But she's used to being my daughter, so it's just all where you're coming from. It's been an amazing journey, though. I mean, I really do feel like I have gone from Perth to Sydney. No, sorry. I'm trying to endear myself.
I'm endeared, trust me.
Yeah. And I'm on a journey, you know, so there've been deserts and mountains and all kinds of different stuff, and it's fantastic.
I just wonder if there's a moment or a time in your life where you're at home, for instance, where just things are...
All the time, every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah, every single day. I mean, I'd like to, like, you know, play up the image of, like, you know, I'm just so eccentric, I can't remember. Or whatever. But I don't know how I got here. I'm just that crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I'm just, I'm a hard-working guy. I love what I do, and I go home and I watch crappy TV like everybody else.
Because you make a...
But I do have a place at the beach, so that's pretty great.
Do you surf?
I got up a couple of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just started. My daughter's into it, so I went out with her on her birthday, and we got up and did it a couple of times, and I was like right on it. It was amazing. I was incredible.
Right, just...
Okay, now I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just okay at first, and I got up, and so now you want to smash cut to like some footage of me surfing
that's right.
on like what looks like a jetty. It was kind of a longboard.
Yeah.
I actually had a dining set on it and everything.
And a butler at the other end.
You can't fall off this thing.
What kind of dad are you?
Good dad, I think. I think I'm a good dad. You know, I'm there.
Are you like most dads are? Does your daughter think you're a bit of a dag?
You know, we have a very cool relationship. She knows that she has to be careful, though, when she brings friends over, because I like to scare them. You know, so she comes over to, well, like, you know, invites friends over to watch movies and things like that, and I'll just find a way somehow to startle the children. I'd like to do that.
Well, what do you do?
Oh, well, you know, they watched What Lies Beneath one time at a birthday party, and had all the girls over, and I just kind of snuck into the room and waited until that part where she says, "I know." You know, Michelle Pfeiffer says that.
Yeah.
And I walk up behind them and say, "Do you know?" And cake flies everywhere, and children scream. It's great. I love it.
That really strikes me as being very much you, that regardless of Jim Carrey, the public figure, or the job, that you just like to create that comedic response to just make it funny.
You know, I like to express myself in every different way. But like when I'm coming here today, I just think, you know, part of me still gets nervous about talking and doing whatever, but the other part of me goes, none of this is going to matter.
Yeah.
In 100 years, they'll never remember, you know, whatever. It won't matter. So just have fun. Let's have a blast.
Is it scary a thought for you that you actually would you'd reach a point where you'd stop being nervous? Because if your idea of fun is to be out there all the time, isn't it a scary thing to actually slow down and become conservative?
Well, it just depends on what you want to hang on to. I mean, you can be anything you want if you're not hung on to a result, you know? If I wanted to, like, you know, wake up tomorrow and decide to be the stoic guy or whatever, which probably will never happen, folks. But if I did, you know, some people choose a character to play in life, you know, when they go out. So I might not be as popular, you know, but it'll be interesting.
You talk about having fun with your daughter's friends, and like that story about what lies beneath. What's the biggest stage on which you've gone out there and really surprised people, where you've had the most fun?
Well, I'm constantly doing it. When I show up at places, it's really hard for me not to get involved in some way. Like when I went to Saturday Night Live and the Foo Fighters were playing on stage, and I just couldn't help myself. I had to get up and play my leg with the Foo Fighters and stuff like that. So I got up, and they had no idea. It was in the middle of the, like, orange alert in New York. So, you know, the guitarist was looking at me like he had no idea who I was. I was, like, you know, showing my face real good so he could see me, so he wouldn't, you know, whack me with the thing. And stuff like that is so much fun to me. I got up with Elton John. At the Arrowhead Pond, there were 20,000 people or something like that, 15,000. I was backstage, and he was kicking everybody out. He was having an audience with people, and I, you know, before he kicked me out, I said, well, you know, need any help singing Rocket Man, let me know, like that. And he went, oh, really? You want to sing backup? Like that? And I said, no. And and he said, oh, a duet? Like that. And I said, sure, why not? Yeah. Like that. Because it sees the day with me, you know what I mean? I just really, I'm there, and why not? So, so he goes, oh, okay, get him the lyrics. I said, you have a jacket? Do you have anything I can wear out there? So he set me up with one of his leather jackets with Elton glasses, and I came out on stage at the Arrowhead Pond. I'm in the audience, first of all, because you never know all the lyrics to an Elton John song. There's always someone, he flaps his rags in flight, survive. And for your whole life, you're like going, survive, like that, but you never know what it is. And you don't care, right? Because it sounds so good, but you don't care. So I'm like sitting there looking at the lyrics of Rocket Man while he's singing Rocket Man, or he's singing Daniel, and I have to go up next. And I'm in this gigantic 20,000 person crowd with a little pen light looking at going, is that what that is? Is that what he says? Oh my God. He packed my bags. You know, I'm discovering it at that moment. And then he introduced me, and the place went crazy. And the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I went, oh my God, no wonder these rock stars are friggin' head cases. Anyway, so I got out there and sang with him, and it was just a trip. It was so much fun. It was great.
You say
Was that the world's longest answer?
No.
It had to be.
That was fantastic.
Really?
No, we've clocked one at 22 minutes and 15
really?
seconds. So
who was that? Russell Crowe?
It was Russell.
Talkative.
I asked, do you know Russ?
No, I don't.
No.
No, I don't.
He wants to fight you.
That's one ass whooping I'd have to take.
Yeah?
Just to do it.
We could sign...
You want to arrange that?
In Australia?
All right.
Before or
Alligator,
after...
Russell Crowe.
Which one first?
Let me just see how the gator goes.
You said seize the day, and it's obvious that the bigger the situation, the more fun it is to do something unexpected.
Oh yeah, the more uptight the situation, the more you need to, absolutely.
So
it's a balance. It's a balancing act, is what it is.
You must have thought about this. If the day ever came where you met the President of the United States of America,
right?
What would you do?
What would I do?
What would you like to do?
What would I like to do? Oh, gosh. I've just been avoiding that so badly. God, it's just as for me. What would I do? I'd probably be very diplomatic, actually.
But the temptation...
I would be disappointingly diplomatic, probably, for my audience. They'd go, get him, Jim! Do something, man! Freeze tags, man! But there's times when freeze tags just don't fit.
Yeah.
And I recognize that.
The temptation. Even
Hey,
just to...
Mr. President, let's do some freeze tags. Okay, bend over. Welcome to Subblock D. Sorry. Freeze!
Even just to go up to him and say, "I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." Surely.
Yeah, no,
the
I do
temptation-
have much leverage actually. That's the one thing about doing what I do. It's like, well, I just did a show called Conan O'Brien, and I actually called Cambridge and got Stephen Hawking to do a comedy bit with me.
No.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I mean, it's just like the hall pass of doom, being a comedian, you know, and so I called up Cambridge, and I just asked him if he would do a bit, and I'd send him the lines, and he said yes, he'd like to do it, and recorded a webcam piece himself for me, which is, you know, me writing and faxing it to him, and him going, his assistant saying, Stephen would like to maybe change a word or two. He thinks it's great. He just wants to maybe change a word or two. I said, go for it. Go do whatever you want. So he changed the words. The bit was, I was explaining ikpyrotic universal theory on the show, okay? And like, I'm really into science. And he calls me in the middle of it and says, don't try to explain it to them. Their tiny pea brains cannot possibly grasp the concept. And it was amazing. And he's on there, you know, basically saying, well, I have to go now. I have to, I'm watching Dumb and Dumber and marveling at the pure genius of it. You truly are a genius. Like that. He calls me a genius, and I say, no, you're a genius. He says, no, you are. No, you are. No, you are. Infinity. And I actually got Stephen Hawking to do the bit, and it was amazing.
You're really into science? What is it? Or did you just find this in a dictionary?
No, ikpyrotic theory. It's
is?
the brain theory of the universe. It's a different theory than the Big Bang theory.
And what does it say?
Well, I'm not exactly versed in this kind of thing to actually scientifically
Don't worry, you
speak
could tell
about
me
it.
anything.
But
I have no
it's
idea.
that basically that we're on this wavelength like like part of a brain, like the tissue of a brain, and the different universes and whatever. I can't really explain it.
Sure.
It's too heady for me.
You had Stephen Hawking, as you said. We've got Stephen Hawking. Your life.
I know, it's
the
crazy.
Possibilities of your life
Are endless. Endless and wonderful. That's why I feel so blessed. I feel like, you know, I got like I said, the hall pass, the hall pass of doom. It's like I could go anywhere and hang out with people. And
is there anyone you couldn't, perhaps other than the president? And you could probably ring him. Is there anyone?
See, guys like that, like Hawking, that excites me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I mean, that's like basically that's Einstein.
Yeah.
You know, he's the smartest guy in the solar system. Whatever, you know, you can go there, but it's just. It's fun, and I know someday I'll probably hang out and have dinner with them. And I had dinner with Henry Kissinger one day, and it was like the freakiest thing ever.
What was it like?
I drove to the restaurant, and and I sat out in my car for 10 minutes before I went in. The valet's knocking on the just give me a minute, man. And I go, okay, what am I going to say to Henry Kissinger? Okay, I better get a USA Today or something. Glance over the topics, the headlines, briefly. But it was so comfortable. But that's what he's good at, I suppose, is making people feel comfortable. But he was so, you know, not pretentious and just completely open and a complete Ace fan. And
what did you talk about?
He wanted to talk about movies mostly.
Of course.
And then we talked about Nixon.
Yeah.
We talked about Nixon for a long time. Talked about, you know, how he thought, you know, Nixon was just, it was just kind of a sad story because Nixon just wanted to be liked, but he couldn't get out of his own way, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Did he give you any, like, insights into the Nixon White House that surprised you?
He told me that Dick likes the ladies. No,
really?
No, I'm not.
Not a string of women haven't come out and said
He
that.
didn't tell me anything extraordinary. He told me one thing that's kind of extraordinary, but I don't think I could say it on the air. So, he told me one thing that I can't divulge to you.
Could you perhaps do a mime of it?
No, no, that has nothing to do with it. It's more military secret.
Wow. You've got a military secret? I'm really scared now.
Yeah, Henry just gave me a few military secrets.
Right.
So I'm not allowed to talk
anyone.
about. No, I really off camera.
Yeah, I understand. And you can trust me with it.
No problem.
You.
A source close to Jim. It's always closed to Jim. I gotta tell you, if I found all those, I just want to have a party one time when I find in the tabloids, I just want to invite the sources that are close to me.
Yeah.
Because that would be a huge party of people I don't know.
There's talk that you might be making a film with Nicole Kidman called Dog Days. Does that prospect excite you?
It's an idea that's out there. I think, you know, we're talking about a couple of different things and that, but she's great. She's an amazing person. Yeah, so I'd love to work with her. It'd be great, yeah.
You're a powerful man. You're a powerful man.
Jeez.
No. I mean, you're
go here?
within your industry. You're very powerful.
Yeah.
You've got a very powerful personality and all of that.
I could chop some heads, for sure.
Well, you gross 100 million, all your films do, every time. They go up pretty much, which is power in this industry. Is it easy, though, when you're wielding a lot of power to hurt people around you without realizing you're doing that?
No, I have such a great gang around me. My team is incredibly intuitive and very real and very centered, and I have a lot of different voices, a lot of different, you know, like I have my own team of analysts, you know, that go like, you're a little to the left, you know, or whatever.
So there's someone in your life who can say to you, Jim, that sucks.
Yeah. Sure. Mostly I do it, but but definitely I have great barometers around me and just really good people.
Jim, I hope you do come to Australia. When you do, I'm happy to put you up at my place.
Yeah?
I can arrange the crocodile.
Crocodiles are good.
I can arrange Russell.
Yeah. Now, is that something everybody does when they get off the plane?
Fights Russell?
No, the crocodiles? They go right for that?
No.
Is Steve Irwin able to, like, walk the streets? Do people, like, throw cats on him when he has no shirt on?
I think
he should do, like, Jackass. He should jump into the whole Jackass thing, but, yeah, just...
Steve Irwin's Jackass.
Yeah.
It can all be arranged.
He's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I would like to meet him.
That can be arranged,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You've got no
And then I'd like
excuses.
to take that power of God and change him into Kylie Minogue. Have you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Going back to the next Jim, it's really been a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks for being on Australian television.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be here two-dimensionally. I can't wait to, you know, spike it up a bit.
As the ambassador for my people, my nation salutes you.
Cool, man.
Jim Carrey, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
You got the Nixon handshake.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Did you notice that
yeah.
one?
I'm scoring votes here right now.
You can tell me about the Kissinger thing now.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, what it is he has a mole.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's shaped like Margaret Thatcher. Hi, how you doing? I'm a good man. Oh, I say some things. I had a lot of people walking out because I would, you know, do things like this. I'm addicted to crack! It's weird. I'm a Capricorn Aquarius cusp.
Wow.
This is LA talk now.
Yeah.
Plummet sounds sexy to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you ever tried the position?
I plummet.
Do you?
Yeah.
Right there, we got a headline. Have you ever had an inkling of what it would be
I had one about 5 minutes ago, an inkling.
before or after you plummet?
Plummeting sometimes brings it on.
Where you must go when you come to Australia, seriously, is a place called Kakadu.
Really?
Which is right in the
What did
middle of
you call me?
Australia. Kakadu.
They put a probe in the back of my neck, right about here. See, right in there. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
Okay.